But you're not playing the entire week. In that, you just need to have 3 or 4 really like hardcore 30-minute catching sessions. And that's just 4. That's 4 lucky days.
I stand by the fact that 460 excellent throws in a week is a healthy amount.
I'm not going to say what I want to say, but what I am going to say is that about an hour in, I did to this community classic, I did message Kyle and said, "Hey man, how are those excellent throws coming?" He's like, "They're not."
Now, so in my defense here,
okay.
After you said that, I'm like, all right, now I actually have to try and get excellent throws, and it was much better.
You're tuned into the GoCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
Everybody's dancing in the moonlight during the Lunar New Year event.
PvP players have a new chase. Double extra small Pokemon.
Unleash the beast within using Primal Reversion.
Let's turn up the heat with Numel and Camerupt. And more on this episode of GoCast. Hello and welcome to the GoCast podcast, episode 222. It's January 21st, a Saturday afternoon. I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
Hey, Kyle, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're both fresh from the fight, as it were, with Larvitar Community Day Classic, which was just a couple hours ago, not even 2 hours ago it ended. It's 6:52 right now for us here. So maybe some intrepid raiders are even yet still out there knocking out Pupitar. Maybe. Who knows? Did they have raids? I don't even know. I don't know.
I don't pay attention because I don't participate.
No, I'm pretty sure it's everyone now, but I don't remember for sure. But hey, that's great. SmackDown is fantastic. We will talk about our Community Day Classic experience once we breach the news topic here. But before we get started, shout out to our patron community. Thank you so much to all of our patrons for your support and for helping us keep this show going and doing what we do. We appreciate you very much. More about Patreon and patronage at the end of the episode. But Mr. Kyle, last week we set some goals. And then we were unable to find a time to record. I was pretty stinking ill this week. Like, I had a cold since last Thursday that just put me on my butt. And so Kyle was very nice enough to be like, yeah, that's cool. We don't have to record on Tuesday. I didn't even have a voice. So we're going to have to reschedule that recording for next week. And I'm excited because we're going to have a mutual friend, fellow podcaster and guest on with us. It's going to be a good time. But we set some goals a little bit ago. We didn't get a chance to set Larvitar Community Day shiny goals on air, but Kyle and I did talk about it in Discord chat prior. So we set some of those goals. So we'll reveal those goals here as well. But for our old ones, Mr. Kyle, you wanted to finish the fairy badge. This was off of, finishing the Twinkling Fantasy event up.
Yeah, it did not happen.
No? Oh, man. What, you couldn't find any, or did you just forget?
No, I didn't get to play as much as I was originally planning due to other circumstances.
Unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. What about Shiny Zekrom? Did you get lucky in that regard?
No, not at all.
Okay. Buddy progress for Hundo Chandelure and come up with a nickname.
Yes. Although not a lot of progress. I am out of Poffins finally because I haven't seen very many research tasks for scanning for them. So that's finally run out.
Okay.
But, great friends or whatever the second heart is. And he's officially named Lumiere. So.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I like that. Beauty and the Beast reference. But I will say, you claim the two of you are great friends. Now, if I were to ask Lumiere the same question, would they agree?
Probably not. He's like shoved some food in my face and then just ran.
Yeah. We went for a walk, air quotes. And what you did was let them on the ball and just started walking. Like, if you keep up, you keep up. If not, I don't know how you couldn't. All right, great. For myself. Oh, so sorry. Out of the original set of goals, that's a 1 out of 3 for Mr. Kyle here. but we say that with sympathy because he's had one heck of a week. Me too. Bad news bears over here at Club GoCast. Life is hard sometimes. I wanted to walk 50 kilometers because I was riding very high on my ability to go on walks, and then I fell ill. That's hilarious how that goes. Didn't happen. One shiny that did actually happen. I can tell you. Oh, it was an onyx. I got an onyx on
my God.
Adventure Sync. 50 eggs to hatch. I did that. By today, at least, I have much more than 50 eggs hatched, but I couldn't tell you by Tuesday what it was. I don't remember. But that's 2 out of 3 for me. Hooray. Now, for our community day goals, let's just read them out really, really quick. Kyle wanted at least 15 shinies and at least 200 Candy XL. I was looking at 25 shinies, 250 XL, and 200,000 experience. So I suppose if we're going to talk about Larvitar Community Day, let's just hop into the news. Yo, what up? It's the news. Okay, let's knock out Larvitar Community Day Classic. So, Mr. Kyle, did you get your 15 shinies?
I did.
Okay, what about your 200 Candy XL?
I did.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So did you get like much more than that? Like what happened?
I got like 340 XL, but I also haven't transferred any yet.
Oh my gosh. What?
So, yeah.
How was that possible?
I mean, Mega Evolution.
How many did you catch?
Let me tell you. Hang on.
Okay.
500?
Wow, something's just not adding up right with my numbers based on what you just said. Maybe I was the one that was disproportionately unlucky in the Candy XL.
Did you have a Mega?
I did.
Okay. Was it?
I did. I had
higher than level 1.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was a shiny Aerodactyl. So
okay.
Yeah, the shininess doesn't mean anything other than me just bragging about it. But we're Go players. We all understand where I'm coming from. Okay, well, congratulations on both of those. Good on you. 25 shine. Oh, how many shines did you get total? Out of the 15 you wanted?
26.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Look at you. Okay. For myself, 25 shinies. I caught 43.
Jeez.
I sent Kyle a screenshot and I posted in the Discord, I think, but there is a screenshot from my journal where I caught 4 shiny Larvitar back to back to back to back, all within literally the same minute. And it felt good. It felt great. 250 XL candy. I only ended up getting 339, I think. I think it's a little bit more than that. I kind of forgot to check until I was about an hour in, and I was at like 170 XL candy. I was like, I probably was at 150. So that was the number I was looking at. And then 500,000 experience. I really underestimated my ability to gain experience this event. And I walked away with 1.8 million, no friendships.
Yeah. I also got about 1 million experience.
Wow, nice. Yeah, buddy. So where does that put you now on your XP needs?
I'm halfway to, what is this, 48? I think is where I'm right. I'm 47. I'm double checking because I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that's
halfway to 47.
Okay, all right.
8.5 million out of 18 million. A little less than
we gotta pick up the pace, man. You gotta pick up the pace.
It's winter. I don't play a lot in the winter.
I know, honest. but 1 million at this event is good. That's great, awesome. But yeah, I caught 829. That was my final number. Yeah, buddy.
All right.
So that was Larvitar Community Day Classic. Spawns were good for you. Spawns were great for me.
They were fine. Nothing spectacular, really.
Yeah, I definitely felt like I was drowning in them where I was playing. But yeah, no problems whatsoever. No lag issues, no nothing. I didn't see anybody, say online that they had issues with their event. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it was just golden across the board because it was kind of an exciting community day, even if it was classic. So anyway, let's move on to new news. The real news, I suppose. Lunar New Year 2023. This event is actually currently live and it ends on Monday. This Monday. Trainers, it's time to celebrate the Lunar New Year in Pokemon Go. Pokemon like Bunnelby and Baneri will appear more frequently in the wild, and trainers can look forward to other event-themed Pokemon appearing in the wild in raids and hatching from eggs. It looks like all trainers' luck will also improve during the event. You'll have an increased chance of encountering shiny Darumaka, an increased chance to receive lucky Pokemon in trades, and an increased chance to become lucky friends. I have done a grand total of 0 trades this event.
Yeah.
But I have been opening gifts. Have you been opening gifts at all?
No.
You know what? I figured out what it is. My tendency to open up gifts aligns with a 7-kilometer egg pool event.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Yeah. Who would have put 2 and 2 together there? I think everybody but me, until I realized just now. So when was this event, or when is this event? It did start on Thursday, January 19th at 10 a.m. And it runs to Monday, this upcoming Monday, January 23rd at 8 p.m. local time. The wild encounter pool includes Ponyta, Magmar, Magikarp, Slugma, Numel, Combee, Baneri, Fennekin, Bunnelby, Flareon, and Darumaka. If you saw the event details for this post, like really quite quickly, if you went into the blog post and poked around, like pretty much as soon as it was pushed, it did show Fennekin as having a shiny possibility. That has since been fixed. The image has been fixed, right? There's no shiny sparkles there. But we did not get some sort of like public tweet that was like, whoops, trainer, sorry about that. No shiny Fennekin. You know how that's going to happen. Like, so it's been kind of a rumor that it could be shiny. I'm here to tell you. We're both here to tell you. No, it's not. Bonuses for this event: increased chance to encounter shiny Darumaka, like they said. And also the other 2 ones, increased chance for lucky Pokemon in trades, increased chance to become lucky friends. There's also 2 times Stardust from opening gifts, and 1 additional special trait can be made for a maximum of 2 per day. Pretty standard friend-based fun event stuff. Timed research, lucky wishes. Trainers will be able to access branching timed research that grants their wish for bonuses that revolve around either hatching eggs, the duration of daily adventure incense, or collecting stardust. The path you choose will determine which bonuses and tasks you have for the event. No matter which wish you pick, all trainers who complete the research will receive a lucky egg and other items. They will also have the opportunity, the privilege, if you will, to encounter the following Pokemon. The first one, I kid you not, is Magikarp.
Of course.
There's some good stuff in it. It's just so funny the way they word it. Like, you'll have the opportunity to encounter a Magikarp. Right. Azumarill, Combuskin, Darumaka, Galarian Darumaka, and, Bunnelby, the real chase here. So, the Darumaka encounters are good, but Darumaka itself is pretty prevalent in the wild, actually. It's less of a rare spawn and more of a uncommon spawn, I'd say.
Yeah.
And as slightly teased, there's also a 7-kilometer egg pool shakeup. And it will include Chingling, Riolu, Darumaka, Galarian Darumaka, and Scraggy. Yes, it's time for us to throw our money at the potential of a Riolu shiny.
Oh, God. Yeah, for 4 days.
That's right. Exactly. I think I've only hatched 40 of these event eggs. And I'm still not. I think I hatched 2 Riolu total so far.
Only 40 eggs.
Whatever, man. Hey, that's easy money. It's an easy amount for other events, but 7-kilometer eggs, honestly, no joke. It slows me down, man. Give me those community days where they're like, oh yeah, 2-kilometer eggs.
I think
burn through them. Love it.
I think you might be the only person in the world to say that.
What do you mean? That likes having the 2-kilometer eggs hatching?
Yes.
I just like hatching eggs, Kyle. I don't know how much more straightforward I can be about this.
I'm just telling you that you're in the minority there.
That's fair. That's okay. I'm not looking to be liked here. I just want my other egg hatching brethren and sistren. What is the gender neutral version of brethren?
I don't know.
Fellows?
Sure, fellows. Is fellows gender neutral?
I think that's from an academic perspective. It would be, right? I'm not sure, but my other egg hatchers out there, all of you, you know who you are. Yours is the only respect I want.
I think other egg hatchers are still in the boat of, no, I don't want to see 2K eggs anymore.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Maybe I'm just messed up. That's a certainty, not a possibility. All right, let's talk about raids really quick. In 1-star raids, you're seeing Hisuian Voltorb, Shinx, Darumaka, and Galarian Darumaka. For 3-star raids, Flareon, Shuckle, Blaziken, Druddigon, and Diggersby. The Diggersby can't be shiny.
Yeah, as you'd expect.
Strange. Just a strange Pokemon I have there. 5-star raids. Regice is back.
Yep.
Regice is
back.
Was
anybody missing it?
No, I don't know. It's very strange to have Regice in this raid pool. Very strange, but whatever. Mega raids, you've been seeing Lopunny thrown around. Field research tasks, the encounters you'll find are Charmander, Paris, Cyndaquil, Torchic, Chimchar, Combee, Baniri, Tepig, Darumaka, Galarian, Darumaka, Fennekin, Bunnelby, and Litten. That's all of them. Yeah, they're like red or fire or a bunny is the idea there. Avatar items and stickers. There's a red lantern backpack. It looks pretty all right. And stickers is the usual jazz. Buy them in the shop. Get them in gifts. Spin stops. You know how it goes.
Please don't buy stickers. Please, I beg.
I've bought stickers, I think, maybe 4 times total.
Oh my gosh.
But like, I bought Cyndaquil stickers when it was Community Day.
But
you know.
Okay.
Yep. Or not Community Day. One of the other. Was it? I don't remember.
I couldn't tell you.
Doesn't matter. The one where he's got the best buddy ribbon on. I love that one. That's a good one. Okay, Mr. Kyle, any parting thoughts on the Lunar New Year event? It's pretty solid, but does anything jump out to you in particular?
It'll be interesting to see at the end of the weekend any numbers that people are able to post about the increased chance for shiny Darumaka.
Yeah.
Because it's not very often that they specify an increased chance for a shiny that's not like specific to a community day. It's usually just it can be shiny.
Yeah. And for them to mention it, it means that rate is probably significantly boosted in some way. Even though you and I have not seen one yet.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, I think it's a solid event. Like I said, pretty interesting stuff. If you like rabbits, it's cool. A little bit of confusing choices made here with like, you know, Diggersby and 3-star raids. I don't quite understand.
I mean,
that.
it's the year of the rabbit.
Like, yeah, but
it's Diggersby in raids and then Lopunny in mega raids.
I suppose
if Lopunny didn't have a mega raid, then they would put Lopunny in raids. So
yes, yep. You just stepped me through the thought process as my brain was doing it. I was like, oh, Lopunny has a mega. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I just don't like it because it's not shiny possible.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
It's a bummer. But other than that, 7-kilometer egg pools. Love to see it. It's great. All right, next piece of news here. More extra small and extra large Pokemon have been discovered in Pokemon Go. Trainers, we have some extra large news. How cute. After discovering XXS and XXL Pokemon last month, we've now discovered that those sizes of all Pokemon are now available in Pokemon Go. So keep a sharp eye out for your favorite Pokemon. The next one you encounter may be teensy tiny or absolutely enormous. For more information, sounds derogatory. It might be a teensy tiny or a real chunker. For more information, including how to recognize different sizes of Pokemon during encounters or how your Pokédex tracks sizes, check out our blog post from last month. So they have a link to it there, so you'll find that in our show notes for sure. Now, this is retroactive. There are some extra small and extra large Pokemon that will show up now in the search that did not before. I think it was just Poochyena and Mightyena, not Houndoom, Mightyena, just those two that before. But now it's been added. And just today, Kyle, I think I told you some wrong numbers. I caught 2 extra small, not 3, 2 extra small Larvitar, and 4 double XLs.
Huh. I caught 4 extra small and 1 double XL.
Okay. Did you swipe between a regular one next to it and try to eyeball the size difference?
No, but I noticed it when it spawned and I was catching it. So like,
Oh, okay.
when it does the little sparkle that's not shiny sparkles,
Yes.
definitely
Oh,
looks smaller.
It's very like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
The way that it zooms in, if you're not ready for it, will catch you off guard. And you're like, oh my goodness, what's happening here?
That said, the pop-up for the updated weight and height, it's
at
bad.
the bottom
real,
when you're looking at the
it's real obnoxious.
Yeah, the thing about it for me is that you can't immediately exit away. There's like a 1 or 2 second grace period for it, and that to me is unacceptable.
It just looks bad. Like it's a cutout from the Pokedex pop-up. That, I don't know. If you'd shown me that as a screenshot before it was in game, I would have said it was somebody badly editing together an image for a proof of concept on Reddit. Maybe.
To me, it could look really poor. I just want to dismiss it as soon as possible. Get back to playing, All right, so I'm going to throw this out there, Kyle. So what? So what about double extra small and double extra large? What does this mean? What does this matter? What does this affect in the game at all?
Well, I mean, nothing really.
You'd be most correct.
But it's cool. Pretty much that's kind of it. It's cool. It was really cool playing Legends Arceus and seeing visible size differences between Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would like that to continue throughout all of Pokemon, like forever now, please.
Yeah, just put like a 1.5 times size on it or a 0.5 times size on it, and there you go. Easy peasy.
Yeah, it just gives more life to the world and the Pokemon that exist in it. So it's just a positive. It's another thing for people to collect. People like having things to collect. So someone out there is going to want a complete double X small Pokedex, and now they can work on that.
Hey, I'm here for them. You keep going. There. You know what? Niantic is also very happy with you because they get to sell you more storage down the road. You and me too, friend. Okay, so there's one gigantic benefit here that I saw today, and it made me laugh. Are you ready? I'm being a little hyperbolic, but it is actually a functional use. I was like, oh, that's fun. So with some Pokemon that are just naturally large, right? Like Ursaluna, when you use it in PvP, it covers up so much of the screen that you can't count attacks accurately sometimes. I saw a bunch of people talking about on Twitter about how all PvPers should go for double extra small Pokemon, especially for large Pokemon naturally, because you can count attacks.
Pokemon Go players, competitive video game players are the worst.
No, I mean it's dorky, but I really did love seeing that it had some sort of use.
It's very funny until people take it too far and they're like, "Oh my god, you're not bringing a double X small Ursaluna to this cup." Because you know that's going to happen. Someone's going to be giving grief about it.
That's the benefit of PvP, all the competitive stuff, and this being like you by yourself and not on a team. So you won't get that whole like, why didn't you bring Flash conversation you have in League of Legends, right? Because I brought Hex Flash instead.
Oh boy.
Okay. Last piece of news here. And this is both big and not big at the same time. It's kind of difficult to really square it. It's also both surprising and unsurprising at the same time. Primal Reversion has been discovered in Pokemon Go. Trainers, something big is coming. Primal Reversion has been discovered in Pokemon Go, and trainers can experience it for the very first time during Pokemon Go Tour Hoenn, Las Vegas. Primal Reversion is a phenomenon powered by natural energy that transforms select Pokemon, which gives them a new appearance, improves their performance in battle, and more. Primal Reversion has been observed in 2 Pokemon to date, the legendary Pokemon Kyogre and Groudon, originally discovered in the Hoenn region. When you collect enough primal energy, Kyogre and Groudon will be able to undergo Primal Reversion. All right, so there's a lot of this stuff. Kyle pointed this out to me ahead of time. This is essentially, in more or less words, the same thing as the Mega Energy system. And so we're only going to really flesh out the bits and pieces that are dissimilar to what you're already used to with the Mega Energy system. But to just sort of sum up this first part, you can only have one mega or one primal. You can get the energy. They're all going to have individual energy for it. There's not going to be primal energy. There's going to be primal Kyogre or primal Groudon energy. And then it's going to work just like Mega Evolution. It's going to, increase its primal level instead of its mega level when you evolve it over time. And your primal level increases result in fewer resources needed to primally revert. What do you say? How do you say this?
I'm just gonna keep saying primal reversion as much as possible.
To go primal, it's going to cost less energy and less of a cooldown, just like the Mega System currently works. So here's where it's new. You'll receive bonuses when your Kyogre or Groudon reverts to its primal form. When Primal Kyogre is in your party, like in your battle party, water, electric, and bug type attacks will benefit from attack bonuses in raids. So not just water like you'd see from a regular Mega. In addition to water, you'll see increases to electric and bug types, which is sweet. When Primal Kyogre is your buddy, water, electric, and bug type Pokemon will grant you additional XP and candy. Now, that has to be your buddy. So both of our thinking here is that if it's in your party and it's your buddy, you'll have both of these bonuses technically active at the same time, right? Even though they serve different purposes. And this similar situation is true for Primal Groudon as well. If Primal Groudon is in your party, Fire, Grass, and Ground will benefit from attack bonuses and raids. And if Primal Groudon is your buddy, catching Fire, Grass, and Ground Pokemon will grant you additional XP and candy. So it's a wider net for the bonuses we're already pretty used to, but there are some specific things that need to be met, like it needs to be your buddy, etc. And you can see a Pokemon's primal level and the bonuses granted by that level by navigating to the Pokemon's page and tapping on the primal level icon. Now, without seeing screenshots, Kyle, I think it's safe to assume it'll be in the same place that the Mega stuff would be, right?
It's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, we don't
have
have
on the other side just because.
I guess so, but like that would only be necessary in Pokemon that would both have a primal version and a Mega Evolution, and those
or if they
don't,
just wanted to mess with you,
or that. But those Pokemon don't exist. So outside of them just wanting to mess with us, me personally, that's how it feels sometimes. It'll probably just be where Mega would be, right? Yeah. A new Pokedex category. The Pokedex category for Mega Pokemon will be updated to include Pokemon that have undergone Primal Reversion, truly sealing the deal here that they are going to treat these just like Megas. I mean, to be fair, a Primal Pokedex would be 2 Pokemon.
Yeah.
So in their defense, yeah, fair enough. And then Pokemon Go Tour Hoenn encounter Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon in Primal raids, Primal, during specific periods, beginning with Pokemon Go Tour Hoenn in Las Vegas. Primal raids are similar to normal raid battles, but the Pokemon you challenge will be more powerful than those you may have encountered previously. Same deal as Mega raids, y'all. Don't be intimidated by this. If you've done a Mega raid, you can do this. No problem.
Well, it's going to be a Mega Legendary raid, though. So if you've done Mega Latios, you can do this. Be specific here.
But I wouldn't be like, oh, no, this is too much for my 5-man regular 5-star team. No, you can do it.
Well, also, Groudon is 4 times weak to water. So, like, what are you worried about here?
It's 4 times weak to Kyogre.
Yeah.
And then trainers will have the opportunity during both Pokemon Go Tour Hoenn Las Vegas and Pokemon Go Tour Hoenn Global to complete Primal Surge field research, which may lead to increased opportunities to encounter the primal versions of Kyogre or Groudon in raids. Unsure how that's going to work.
That's kind of weird that I was like, oh, okay, there's going to be encounter in the research, but no, they threw it in the last line. They said in raids.
In raids.
So what do you mean increased opportunities to get them in raids? The opportunity is already 100% if the raid's there.
I think here's what I think it is. I think the Primal Surge field research is field research that's associated with some sort of global effort.
Okay.
Primal Surge is probably a thing, and then when we hit a certain threshold, I'm sure like it'll trigger the raids or at an increased rate or something. That's the only way this makes sense to me.
I don't know. I don't know.
If only we had more clear communication.
Clarify.
Maybe.
Please tell
Maybe.
me information.
All right, but there's one last little bit of really exciting information in this, and they kind of buried the lead here, in my opinion. I mean, primal forms are sweet, but let's get real for a second here. Featured attacks. You already know what's coming. Kyogre. Kyogre encountered in primal raids will know the charged attack origin pulse. And in trainer battles and in gyms and raids, it's got 130 power. Similarly, almost identically so, Groudon encountered in primal raids will know the charged attack Precipice Blade, 130 power in both trainer battles and gyms and raids as well. Move's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I've seen the numbers, but I don't have anything in front of me right now. But it's very good.
Yep. So this is really exciting. Kyle, I'm going to pass it over to you to give some feedback first here, but give me some thoughts on Primal Reversion. Do you think they handled it right? Do you think it should have been more pizzazz than Mega, or, what are you thinking?
Well, I have two thoughts. One, I think it's cool that they tried to make it different in adding extra types that it's bonus to, because in the main series game, Primal, Kyogre and Groudon, but more specifically Primal form, are very weather-based Pokemon. They set weather, they benefit from it, they make you build your team around that. So to also boost the other types that would benefit being in that weather, that's cool.
That is what that is.
Yeah. So
the 3 grouping is rain and the second grouping is sunny?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so smart. I didn't realize that.
But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh my God,
now,
I feel so dumb, Kyle.
How did you not notice, though? Did you just look at bug type and you're like, yes,
I did.
bug type?
I tunnel visioned on bug type pretty hard. Oh my God.
You didn't wonder why grass was grouped in with fire and ground?
Whatever, man. I thought they were just spreading the love. I'm like, whatever it takes to get bug in the mix, it can have grass. That's fine.
But so here's the part that's a little bit strange for me. I don't think it was necessary to separate it between between party and buddy. I think it's just a needless extra step for the player to take part in, because the player's going to do it. It doesn't make sense to mega evolve and not have it as your buddy because of the extra candy and experience it gives you. Just there's no sense to not do it.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to be very clear. And in this sense, it kind of just doesn't make sense as to why they would be overly clear.
Well, I'm just saying, why is there that restriction? It shouldn't have to be your buddy. It's just keep the same rules as megas. I don't think it needs to be different. And then this is a small one. Primal Groudon got the short end of the stick again.
Oh no,
is Groudon's tradition. Well, so here's funny. People are like, oh, three types are boosted. That's awesome. Well, that's only one more type than normal, because 80% of the megas you're going to do are dual types anyways, to cover as much type as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So Kyogre is a monotype. It's water. Even at Primal, it's water. So it still gets electric and bug. That's a bonus. That's 2. That's cool. Groudon is ground. Primal Groudon is ground fire. So it already boosted fire and ground going by mega rules.
It really, it is, really? They gave it a secondary typing in Primal and Kyogre. They're just like, just keep it the same.
Yeah.
What? I just want to talk, Game Freak. I just want to talk. What's going on?
They definitely should have made Kyogre water electric or something, at least so the ground cancels out the electric and then it's just fire water. They still lose, but whatever. Anyways.
Yeah, return to form.
So it's just kind of a funny thing for me. I'm like, well, so I guess Groudon also boosts grass type.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It means you can bring Groudon to a grass raid and still get extra candy for catching the grass Pokemon. That's a bonus.
Yeah. Give that bad boy Fire Punch with a elite TM, right? Wasn't that the thing?
Don't even bring it in the raid. Who cares? Just it doesn't have to be your buddy.
You're being insensitive.
Also, this is probably just a lack of communication here, but it doesn't specify XL candy. It just says candy. And I'm hoping that's just their communication there.
You're right. It does say that. Or it doesn't say XL.
Because the mega levels and primal levels, I'm hoping, the whole point of leveling them up is to get the extra XL and also the lower time to evolve them.
Fair enough.
Also, this is just a bad thought. Do you think they're going to have the free level? The free Primal Reversion on a timer?
Yeah, I would say they will.
I mean, I can see them not, is the only thing.
Well, because it's more lucrative in their eyes to use. But the thing is that they're not like they're not Pokemon that aren't already notable, right? And with their primal forms, they're going to be very strong. Like top of the charts, Kyogre is going to be #1 water type, right? So that doesn't make sense to me. That would be cool for an incentive if they were trying to incentivize the use of like Mega Alakazam or something that doesn't get a lot of use, right?
I don't know. No, because then it doesn't encourage use. Because if you don't get your free Megas, then you have to do a raid, and every Mega Evolution is a raid. And even at max level, every 2 Mega Evolutions is a raid, or whatever it may end up being, how fast you do the raid, I suppose.
Yeah.
And they know Groudon and Kyogre raids sell. They don't sell as well as Rayquaza, but they sell. So people will do them. But now people will have more reason to do them. This is just the pessimist in me, but they don't mention it. And that has me worried, because they do mention lowering the cooldown. Sorry. They do mention less energy when you keep evolving it.
Yeah. I think it's going to be identical the way that Megas are used, but I understand your concern. And a paragraph would have really cleared that up, but here we are lacking.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, we'll see in just 1 short month.
Are you cautiously excited at very least?
I mean, yeah, I love Primal Kyogre and Groudon. I will definitely.
Sure. But the feature, Well,
I mean, yeah, it's the same feature we already have. I can't really be more excited for it. I'm excited for the Pokemon to be released so I can have my shiny Primal Kyogre.
Oh man, the models look so good.
Yeah,
they look so good. But anyway, that's it for the news section. And this week, since we had so much news, we decided that we were going to gloss over Gear Up, which means that we're going to pop right on over into Pokelore. And this week for Pokelore, we're going to be covering a pair of Pokemon that I feel like is underrepresented, even though we see it rather frequently, now that I think about it. But we're covering Numel, the Numb Pokemon, and Camerupt, the Eruption Pokemon. Starting with Numel. Numel is a yellow quadrupedal Pokemon that resembles a dromedary camel with a volcano-like hump on its back. I hope I said that. Is it dromedary? Dromedary? Hopefully I was close. The hump is green at the very top and fades out into yellow with small green spots. It contains magma of almost 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,200 degrees Celsius. A female will have a bigger hump than a male. It has bangs on top of its head, sleepy eyes with brown circles around them, and short, stubby legs. In short, Numel is adorable. Numel is a very strong Pokemon, having served humans for many years with its ability to carry heavy loads up to 220 pounds, or 1,000 kilograms if you don't use freedom units. However, it slows down when wet and cannot stand when it is hungry.
That due to its like a problem.
It's very relatable Pokemon, to be honest with you. Due to its dull wits, it keeps getting better. It does not notice when it has been hit. Numel lives on volcanic mountains. I like those two sentences next to each other leads to probably a disastrous situation.
They go so good with that theme too, because Numel's abilities in the main games are oblivious and simple.
What does simple do again?
Is prone to wild stat changes.
Wild stat changes.
Doubles the number of stages that a stat is increased or decreased when the move, ability, or item is used.
And oblivious is the opposite, right? Like its stats can't be.
Oblivious is you are immune to attract.
Oh. All right, Numel. Let's see how Camerupt then shapes up. Camerupt is a quadrupedal Pokemon that resembles a Bactrian camel. It has 2 gray volcanoes on its back, which are bigger on a female's back than those on a male. It also has a stout body with red shaggy fur and 3 blue ring-shaped markings on both sides. It has bangs on top of its head, droopy ears, and a tan furless muzzle. And we're going to talk about the Mega because even though the Mega is not out, the Mega is awesome. It's so cool. As Mega Camerupt, the humps on its back have transformed into one large and very active volcano. Its fur expands and grows to a point where only its hooves can be seen. And its ears and the tufts on its head grow thicker and longer, standing on end. It gains a gray M on the front of its face and loses the 3 blue rings on its body. Magma is constantly bubbling up from within its body. It has a deep hatred of water or any moisture, with an explosive personality and a short temper. The volcano on its back erupts constantly in an effort to intimidate its foes. Volcanoes are intimidating. I will give it that. Its body contains amounts of molten lava of 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 10,000 degrees Celsius, which Camerupt voluntarily erupts out of its humps if it is angered. Otherwise, its humps erupt automatically every 10 years.
Oh my lord.
As shown in the anime, it can become uncontrollably angry when it is struck in the face. It lives in the craters of volcanoes. I like how it's literally a ticking time bomb. That is wild. Here are some stats. I threw in some mega stats too for it to be fun. But for regular Camerupt, max CP at 40 is 2193, and at 50 it's 2479. But the mega, which is interesting, at 40 is 3220, and at 50 3641. Nothing to sneeze at, really. Stats.
I mean, that's not good for a mega.
I mean, it makes Camerupt on the chart. That's huge for Camerupt.
Yeah. Is it on the chart though?
I don't know, man. I think so.
It's a ground type.
And
it's got
fire.
Groudon, and Groudon breaks 4K by itself.
Yeah, but and fire, right? So I mean,
fire. It's got to compete with Reshiram, who's probably at like 3,900.
Yeah, but Primal Groudon, like you just said, is also fire type, right? So. Geez. But yeah, so stats for base form is 172 stamina, 136 defense, and 194 attack. And on Mega, same stamina, 172, 183 defense, so you saw an increase there, and 253 attack, which is much better than 194.
Yes.
Best moveset, you're going to want Incinerate with Earth Power and Overheat. So they are positioning this as a fire type. So maybe it'll be okay. It's not a dragon type. I understand.
I mean,
but maybe
it'll be fine. Like,
okay.
But like, competition is stiff.
Sure is. That's why they got to push this one out sooner than later, so it gets a moment to shine. You know,
yeah, their opportunity is gone. Like, yeah. I mean, sure, we're gonna get it eventually, but it would have been better to get it before Hoenn Tour.
I 100% agree with you. I'm hoping that we might still get it prior, but we'll see. But I have a good feeling that Numel and Camerupt are going to be pivotal, I think, theming-wise, moving forward. I just have a good feeling about it because it seems to pop up a lot. Very common filler, and it needs its mega still. So this is the year of the Numel, okay? That's right.
Okay.
Okay, and that's it for Pokelore. So I believe it's time for, yes, that's right. It's Pokepool time.
So last week's Pokepoll was, which Pokemon or type of Pokemon do you think deserve more attention in Pokemon Go, and why? So our first response is from Maxotron. They said, bugs and poison type feel underdeveloped in Pokemon Go for the most part. It feels like too few of them are very useful or as useful as Pokemon from other typing like fire, ground, or dragon. I know part of what handicaps them is how they and their utility translate over from the main series games. Poison types rely on the poison damage over time, and things like Venoshock more than raw damage, and bugs hardly have pseudo-legendary stats or even legendary stats due to them normally reaching their full potential at early game levels.
Yeah.
We have some great moves for each typing, but I would suggest a harder hitting bug charge move and a harder hitting poison fast move. Something like Hydro Pump for bugs. They don't have a type advantage over many things anyways. And maybe something like Dragon Tail or Charm for poison fast move damage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If Acid Spray wasn't already a charge move, that would have been a good fast move.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Didn't we just got not just, it was like 3 seasons ago now. Time is kind of crazy. But they updated Poison Jab, right?
Yeah,
And it was
Poison
like,
Jab
it was
is really good.
Like
It's
Poison
really
Jab's really good. The problem is there's just not enough poison Pokemon to take advantage of it.
But
and the poison Pokemon that do have it are good.
Nihilego,
like Nidoqueen.
Nidoqueen, and Roserade. Those are like the 3.
I didn't hear your first one, but Drapion is.
Oh, Drapion is good
can
too.
Use it too.
Nihilego.
Well. Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. And that said, there are some poison and bug types coming up from the later generations there where they kind of started to fix poison and bugs a little bit. We still haven't gotten Volcarona, but Volcarona is actually going to be good.
Volcarona is really good. It's got pseudo legendary stats. That's the one you're looking for. But unfortunately, it also has a good suite of weaknesses.
Yeah. So, and also watch it not get a bug fast move.
Yeah.
I don't actually know its moveset. It probably can learn like Incinerate for its charge move, but
yeah, something like that. I mean, Bug Buzz is pretty good when we're talking about bug charge moves, but we definitely need a Bug Buzz that does more damage than all that. You know, Lunge is pretty good too. I'm not entirely, I mean, these damage totals are low, but yeah, I can't think of anything else.
I just had to look really quick. It can learn Bug Buzz, so there's a possibility.
Oh, so you're saying there's a chance?
That's literally the only one it can learn, though.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on though. I definitely agree though. Bug and poison need more love in Pokemon in general.
Agreed.
Our last response is from the form of an email from Miles, and they said, "Hi, duders. I hope your show. What the? I love your show and have listened to it for a while now. I'm at my house a lot, so I'm able to listen and play Pokemon Go a lot. To answer the Poke Poll, I would say the most underrated Pokemon type / Pokemon, in my opinion, is Pidgey. Since the start of the game, Niantic hasn't done anything to them. I don't know what they would do. Maybe a new move or a branch off evolution like Ralts, something. That's all I have. Shiny vibes all."
I don't think we're going to see a branch off evolution because Pokemon Company, when they make new generations, bird type Pokemon seems to be, and Pikachu clones, seems to be one of the wells they will have never found dried up.
I would
usually pretty good.
I would be so down for like a new generation where it had every single Route 1 bird, but it was different. Either in the form of like an Alola alternate typing or in the concept of the convergent evolution, I'm sorry.
Yep.
From Paldea. That'd be wild. Just all 9 birds just go one generation. It'd
all
be so
9
good.
That would be pretty sweet. I really want a regional version of Pidgey now, though, that we talk about it. I think that'd be sweet. I think like a revisit to Pidgey everybody would love it.
I mean, I think like 5 of the 9 regional birds need a revisit because they're bad typing. I love Pidgey. I love Pidgey, but the normal flying wasn't good then.
Agreed. And what my thought is that every single Route 1 bird should be reworked until they're as interesting as Talonflame.
Yeah, and they did a fantastic job in Paldea with its name is escaping me right now, but the electric bird, which is very cool.
Wattrel.
Wattrel, yeah.
Yep. Big fan of that Pokemon. It's sweet. I love its face, its eyes. It's like,
all right. Anyways,
yeah.
On to this week's Poke Poll. Which Mega Evolution would you like to see released next, and what's your best guess when we'll see it? Now, there's a lot of powerhouses left, and at some point Niantic is going to have to cave. So I'm going to say don't write in and say Mega Mewtwo because that's boring.
Okay, so I worded this question in such a way that if you just say Mega Mewtwo, we're not going to read your answer because you're not answering the question.
Man, as for an answer though, there's a couple.
Mine is Mega Camerupt during the summer.
Okay, sure.
I seriously, dude, for some reason, I've just got a good feeling about it. I just do.
But we just got Salamence. I was gonna say Metagross, but it's been too soon. No. I'm gonna say Metagross, and I think it's gonna be sooner than later because they can mostly finish off Gen 3 with that. Like the key stuff, and then they leave Mega Rayquaza for like a collection thing at the end of the summer or something.
Yeah.
And they can feature the stuff during the summer of Go that they do for this year, whatever that ends up looking like, and then end the summer with Mega Rayquaza. So
with like the finale event.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense. And Mega Rayquaza would need to be put in a very monumental position like that. Like it would need to be a celebration type Pokemon.
It would need to you need to build up your whole thing to we have to deal with Mega Rayquaza. How do we deal with it? Blah blah blah.
Rescue Shadow Mega Rayquaza from Giovanni.
Oh my god.
Oh jeez. But yeah. Okay, so dear listener, if you have an answer to this week's Pokemon question, which was, which Mega Evolution would you like to see released next, and what's your best guess when we'll see it? Note that this question is not just, which Mega Evolution would you like to see released next? Because we all know that answer. You can answer that question when we post it on Twitter. If you're a patron of ours in the Pokepoll Discord channel, you can also call in and leave it as a voicemail. The voicemail number is 262-586-7717, or you can send us an email, old-fashioned way, to mail@gocastpodcast.com. You can also send us voice messages that are pre-recorded via email if you don't want to call. We take those as well, no problem. But before we get to any of that, we're going to pass it on over to Fish and DeFi for this week's PvP Corner, and they're going to be covering, among other things, Electric Cup, Ember Cup, factions, play Pokemon events. I think the next one's Liverpool. I don't remember off the top of my head, so don't quote me on that. And much, much more. Over to the two of you.
Hi, I'm Fish on a Heater.
And I'm DeFi 250.
And this is PvP Corner, the PvP segment that takes animated fighting Pokemon way too seriously. DeFi, what is going on in PvP?
Well, let's go ahead and start off with the last week of Go Battle League, especially Go Battle Weekend. We had 200 battles. I did them all. It was a marathon. How did yours go, Fish?
I didn't actually get to do all of my battles. Busy weekend by my standards. So I tried to get as many battles in as I could. I talked last week about how I dropped like a stone during Master League. I tried some Great League here, and I was basically, I did not regain anything. I didn't lose much, but I didn't regain much of that elo either. So I'm just hovering back and forth around the 2300 mark. What about you?
Hey, I'm exactly the same. During Go Battle Weekend, I actually gained about 200 elo because I was hanging out around the 2100s, but now I'm in the 2300s, just like you.
Okay, so we're going to match up.
I was going to say we probably battle at very different times.
Yeah, that's true.
However, since Go Battle Weekend, I've really been just stuck in the 2300s. I'm not loving the Open Great League right now. I don't love that I see so much Bastiodon and Shadow Razor Leaf, and it feels like a restricted meta, even though it's not, because I see so many of the same Pokemon. Trevenant, Noctowl, Galarian Stunfisk, Lantern,
Medicham. And it's something that I've brought it up a bunch of times before. It bears saying again. I feel like a good meta is one where all of the top Pokemon have a lot of playability against each other. So like I've brought up the example in the past of even during Holiday Cup, you had Aurorus, which was great, but Obstagoon was a hard counter to it. But, you know, if you played that right, you land a Meteor Beam, suddenly things change up. You build up some extra energy, you hit it with a flurry of Weather Balls in the end game, and you can overcome that matchup. Whereas in Great League, like you can play you can be outplaying your opponent like crazy, and then you've got like Lantern with 2 shields against, and they bring out Trevenant in the back, and you're like, well, that was fun, and just quit. Like there's it's all very rock paper scissors, all very hard wall situations there at the moment.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling too. I've been trying to use Frostlass a bit more, but it's tough. Even when I bring it in as my pivot, as my safe swap, you give it energy. There's just too many things that it just cannot chew through. Like you can't get past a Bastion on. You can barely eke out against a Galarian Stunfisk, but only if your opponent lets you.
Right, yeah.
It is rough.
I've been hearing some people say, obviously, like we've been just concentrating on Great League. Other people prefer to play Master League or Ultra League. And I've been hearing people say Ultra League in particular isn't as susceptible to RPS. But I can't confirm or deny because I have not tried it myself.
Yeah, I've heard similar things. I think it's because the Pokemon are so much bulkier that you tend to have time to switch things out and maybe win back a matchup. The battles take a lot longer. I think it just gives you more time. But we have some new metas coming right around the corner. We have Open Great League coming up if you want to continue with that. Or we have the Weather Cup, which is something I'm excited to try. For the Weather Cup, only Fire, Water, Ice, and Rock-type Pokemon are eligible. Your top 10 species on pvpoke.com are Lantern, Credilli, both the Shadow and Normal, Abomasnow, both the Shadow and Regular, XL Lilip, Ludicolo, Swampert, both the Shadow and Regular, XL Bastiodon, Araquanid, Pelipper, and Toxapex. So some interesting picks in here. I love that Creditly's so good that even XL Leap makes the top 10. So you can tell how good Credilly is going to be. I think we're going to see some Razor Leaf with Ludicolo, just kind of trying to mow down the Swamperts out there. What do you think, Fish?
And Abomasnow as well is actually recommended with Razor Leaf on PV Poke rather than Powder Snow. So that kind of gives you an indication of how important grass damage is going to be in this meta. Pallet Town PvP did their weekly breakdown of the upcoming meta recently, and during that we worked out that there's actually really not much in terms of good fire Pokemon in this meta. Really, Blaziken is the only truly viable one, then maybe a Charizard, but after that there's not much there. So grass is going to be largely unchecked. Another note that I'll add is with the Lilip, the recommendation is for Bullet Seed as its fast move. Bullet Seed is an unattainable move, even by elite TM. So if you want to run Lilip, your best bet is Infestation, and that doesn't make it as good. It's still pretty good. It still generates energy at almost the same rate, but not as good as number, whatever it is, 4 on PV Poke.
Next meta we will have is Open Great League and the Electric Cup Great League Edition. Just like we said last week, it's exactly what it sounds like. Electric types only. Charjabug and Stunfisk are banned. We have our official PV Poke top 10, which is very different than our initial predictions. So the PV Poke top 10, which is essentially the entire meta, these are really the only Pokemon you're going to see. Lantern running Water Gun, Vikavolt, Galvantula running Fury Cutter, and Energy Ball.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Let's go. All right, Minun, Alolan Graveler, Alolan Geodude XL, Alolan Golem, Electrode, Hisuian Electrode, and Heliolisk making an appearance at number 10. Fish, what are your thoughts on this PV Poke top 10?
Triple Geodude line. Let's go.
Yes, I have them all. Like, I have a level 50 Alolan Geodude, best buddy,
yes.
Hundo. I feel like I have to.
That's has that got Volt Switch as well, or is that just Rock Throw?
I think it has Volt Switch. Let me look. Her name is Toph. All right, where is she? There you go. Yeah, Toph has Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, and Rock Slide.
Yeah, right. So I mean, yeah, perfectly viable, which is why it's up there. Yeah, it's reasonable plan. I mean, I don't know how it would go against any Lantern.
Yeah.
And also, there's a couple of mud slappers around. But I mean, apart from that, if you can avoid all of that, then you might have some play.
Yeah. Speaking of mud slappers, we've been talking about Charjabug like crazy, but we haven't talked about Vikavolt. Vikavolt being the evolved form. I didn't know it had mud slap at all.
It's not often the move you'd want. We never think about it. But in this particular meta, with all these electric types around, some that are double weak to ground type, you mud slap it up.
I just put in the team in PV Poke of all 3 Alolan in Electric Cup. You have a lot of threats. It has A for coverage, which is hilarious to me, and a D for bulk. But yeah, like against the whole meta, which is very small, like you're going to beat the crap out of every Zapdos, Emolga, Electivire, Dedenne, Electrode, Galvantula would just get wrecked. And you would actually beat Vikavolt if you run them all with Rock Throw.
Right. There you go. And the idea behind a lot of those teams where multiple Pokemon perform the same role is that the counters can never take out all of those Pokemon on its own. So, like, yeah, if you run triple Geodude line and you do run into a Lantern, then there's a good chance that, like, yeah, your first Pokemon will go down, maybe your Graveler. But then, Golem comes out and finishes the job, and then they've got no more counters, for example, to take out the rest of that team.
I feel like I have to do it at least once because I have all 3.
I mean,
like I have a high rank.
Content.
That's content. That's for content. Sure. But the thing is, you have to keep the Geodude in the back.
Why is that?
Because you can have the Graveler or the Golem in the lead, and they won't really suspect anything.
Right.
And then you bring out the Graveler, and they're just like, oh, this is just like an ABB or an ABA.
And then they're like, what? It's AAA? It's AAA?
It's AAA. It's AAA. Moving right along. February 2nd to February 9th, we'll cover it more when we get closer, but that is going to be the Open Ultra League and Ultra League Premier. Premier being no legendaries, mythicals, or Ultra Beasts. Note that neither of these are classics. We got to get used to it because classic is going away, so you will see level 50 Pokemon in both of these leagues. Let's go ahead and grab our self-check-in really quick. We have Ember Cup. I'm in only 2 tournaments for Ember Cup for individual self because I don't like this meta. The more I play it, the more I dislike it. I did, in my tournament that I just checked into, bring a Dedenne from our conversation last week. We'll see how it goes. I'm nervous for all the Hisuian Quillfish I'm going to come up against, but we'll try Dedenne.
I hope it works for you. Actually seeing a bigger and bigger uptick each week in the hype around Minun, or Minun. How do you pronounce it?
I think it's just Minun.
Minun? Yeah, that sounds more appropriate.
Like minus?
Yes. But it actually has Quick Attack as a fast move, which serves it better than Spark. It's got the same energy generation, doesn't have the same type attack bonus, but it still beats your Poliwrath and your Charizard with the Quick Attack, and it also gives you a bit more pressure against Piloswine, which is obviously the big problem for all the electrics in this meta. The fact that it has Grass Knot as well means that Minun can actually legitimately hold its own against the Piloswine, which really none of the other electrics can. Like Electivire can hit with an Ice Punch, but the Piloswine still can survive 2 Ice Punches without breaking a sweat, and it's the Electivire has to shield any avalanche that comes its way. So Minun, with its extra bulk, looking good.
Yeah, definitely an interesting pick if you have it. I don't know if I've ever built a Minun. I'm not really sure I've ever made one, but I know it can be good when given the right meta to shine.
Yep. And so, I mean, Dedenne's a good pick as well, though.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes. I have the rank 7 Minun. I just haven't built it. And it has to be kind of big. It goes almost to level 40.
Okay.
So you need a significant amount of Minun candy.
Dedenne doesn't have that issue. But then it does have the issue that most Pokemon in this meta have, which is it can't really take much of a hit.
True.
For my Ember Cup battles, I have been been amazed how well I've been going, to be honest. I'm 8-2 right now with my Ember Cup
Wow.
battles. Yeah.
For battles, are those battles or rounds?
It's rounds. I've won 8 rounds, lost 2 of them, and also I'm back playing Gym Breakers for Australia, and I had 4 Ember Cup matchups there. I won 2 of them 3-0. I got 2-1 for another one, and I did lose 1-2 on the 4th one. But yeah, this has been going really well for me. So if you say you're hating Ember, I'm having actually the opposite experience.
Yeah, I think I just don't love the team that I used in my first tournament that I picked up. I love Charizard, Poliwrath, Piloswine, Gliscor. Like those 4 are great. Don't love Victini.
Okay.
Let me rephrase. I love Victini. I don't love Victini here because I have Charizard, and Charizard does a lot of the things Victini does, but better.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have Trevenant, which just isn't doing what I need it to do. It's not a bad pick. We talked about it a bit last week, but I'm just not finding the right matchups with it.
Right.
So the team that I did in my other tournament, I swapped out Victini and Trevenant, and instead I brought the Dedenne and I made a Hisuian Quillfish. I'm currently 2-1 with my battles.
Okay. That's good. You're in the positive. You're in the green.
We'll see. We'll see how long it stays there. It's precarious. It's quite precarious. All right. Let's move into Play Pokemon. Upcoming events this weekend. We have Liverpool in Great Britain. There are about 130 players registered. It should be a really good tournament. We have 4 shoutcasters in Lundberger, Adelian, Inadequence, and Leonard Koenig are casting, which should be great. I'm really excited to tune into that stream. So we'll cover a little bit about it next week. Then we have Orlando, Florida, which is going to be February 3rd to the 5th. Registrations are open. 107 registered. And that was pretty much on the first day. So let's see if we can get that up to that 128. If you are near Orlando, please go register. It is such a good time. The tournament will be stacked and fun. There will be a lot of good people. And it's just a good time. And then Fish for you, OCIC, we finally got news. Registration opens tomorrow for you. For you, it'll be Friday, January 20th. In the States, that'll be the 19th. And yeah, registration opens. Are you excited?
I am nervous, but excited as well. Last season when Melbourne opened, it was funny. They obviously just did not think that there would be a huge demand for Pokemon Go in that particular regional, especially seeing how low the numbers were in Perth. So they only had room for 17 spots in Melbourne, and it sold out in 30 minutes. And so they had to make some kind of arrangements. They hired out another room in the building that they were in so they could accommodate more people. And, it ended up, they reopened the bookings and they ended up getting a good number of 56. I don't know how much room they've prepared for this time. So there might be a situation where I have to be waiting there on the computer for, 8 a.m. to come around so I can snap up a ticket quickly.
Well, best of luck. Since it is an international, I'm sure they're going to have enough space booked. The internationals are huge. If you've seen footage from LAIC or EUIC or NAIC. So I'm sure it's going to be great. And I'm excited. I'm excited to hear and talk about it next week. We also have Knoxville, Tennessee, registration open. There's 42 players registered in Knoxville, so plenty of spaces. So if you are in the Tennessee area of the United States, go register. It'll be a good time. Definitely head over there. And then we also have Bochum in Germany, February 24th through the 26th. And registration also opens for us. It is tomorrow. So lots of registrations just starting to happen. For Pokemon Go, there'll be 96 tickets available. So I'm guessing that's going to sell out pretty fast. One other thing I just wanted to really quickly note, if you are going to some of these tournaments and you're thinking, I've never done a Show 6 tournament before, like I've never really done the Sylph Arena, I've never done like an Open Great League Show 6 before. An organization, Mazer Gaming, an organization I'm part of, is doing something called Regional Rumble tournaments. They're every single Thursday leading up all the way through these regional tournaments. And it's a good way to practice. So they host practice tournaments for the Open Great League where you can kind of get your feet wet and try doing Open Great League in a Show 6 format if you've never done it before, or you've done it a ton of times and you just want to practice. It's free and just a nice way to practice with other people, maybe get some team ideas. So you can check that out through Mazer Gaming. Hit me up if you have any questions. But free tournament, open to the public, nice, easy practice.
Next up, we have a mailbag. A couple of letters in from some listeners. The first one comes from Illusion, who says, hope you guys are having a wonderful 2023. I'm really hoping to get a Zekrom for Ultra League. I feel like Electric is a very good typing because of the wing attack meta. What do you think? If you have time, could you please tell me a team I could play in the Ultra League with movesets too, please? I have access to all that Ultra League CP, Obstagoon, Dragonite, Chandelure, Gyarados, Roserade, Hydreigon, Walrein, Yveltal, Togekiss, Trevenant, Giratina R, Charizard, Umbreon, Machamp, and the Hitmon chicken things.
The Hitmon chicken things. The Galarian Zapdos? No,
Combustion? Yeah, no.
Blaziken?
Well, I mean, Hitmon refers to like Hitmonchan and Hitmontop, which can be Ultra League level. But they seem like pretty random ones to have built for Ultra League, so maybe it is Blaziken? Hitmon chicken thing.
I cannot think. Galarian Zapdos. That's the only... Because it's like Hitmonlee with the legs.
Yeah. I sincerely wish it was actually called Hitmon chicken.
Same. That's a much better name for it. However, so taking a look at that team, if you would like to use Zekrom, Zekrom's rated pretty low in the Ultra League, but it does have some solid wins, beating things like Tapu Fini and Registeel, Obstagoon, Empoleon, Talonflame. So it does have some really solid wins. You just have to watch out because it loses to stuff like Giratina Altered, Swampert, Trevenant. There's a lot that you really need to watch out for, especially those ground types, since Zekrom really can't do a ton about ground type Pokemon. And they're going to be able to fire Earthquakes. It's going to be bad news. So you're going to want to build your team to be able to counter ground and maybe other dragons, maybe that Trevenant. So I think pairing it with your own Trevenant would be a really good pair for Zekrom, if that's the Pokemon you are really wanting to use.
Yeah, I agree. I think out of the Pokemon you've listed, those two make the best core. For Zekrom, you would want Dragon Breath as your fast move. And you probably want Crunch as one of your charge moves. The other charge move, you could really choose between Wild Charge and Fusion Bolt. Now, Fusion Bolt is a raid exclusive move, so you would have to have a Zekrom that was in the last rotation of raids. If not, Wild Charge is pretty much the same thing. It does 10 more damage than Fusion Bolt, so slightly more, but it also debuffs you 2 stages. So there's really like pros and cons there. It's hard to tell which one is actually better than the other. And for Trevenant, there's not much question there. You want Shadow Claw as your fast move, and Shadow Ball and Seed Bomb as your charge moves. For a third Pokemon, you need something that can, we call it a pivot. It's something that can try and win you back switch advantage if you lose the lead. And probably the best two I can see here are Gyarados. Although with Gyarados, we might be struggling a little with like a Fairy in the lead, especially if you're running Dragon Breath instead of Waterfall for Gyarados. Or Walrein is another option. So if you want to run Walrein, I'd go Powder Snow, Icicle Spear, and Earthquake. If you want to run the Gyarados, you can go either Dragon Breath or Waterfall, and Aqua Tail, and Crunch as the charge moves.
So thank you so much, Illusion, for your email. Let us know how that team works out for you. We also have an email from Kevin about held items. Kevin says, hello, Fish and DeFi. I was just curious that if Niantic gave us held items, finally, and you could give an Everstone to an unevolved Pokemon to boost its defense, which would you choose? Or do you see other held items being more useful? I'm interested in the topic of them in the field of PvP and would love your thoughts. 5-0 set vibes all. And Kevin.
Very nice. Yeah, so for me, I've said in the past that I wouldn't want to see any of those extra things that the main series games has to make it more complicated, because I like the simplicity of Pokemon Go. I'm now in a different place. I would like to see a little more complexity in the battle mechanics of the game. However, I think for me, before held items, I would absolutely put status effects in as the first thing that I do to increase that complexity. And then after that, I'd probably have abilities over held items. What do you think?
I would absolutely not want abilities in Pokemon Go. I think that would break. I think it would break everything. Because if you think about it, held items, you could introduce 5 held items into PvP, and it would drastically affect things. I think for an item that would be able to buff defense, I think the Eviolite would work better than the Everstone that you mentioned. I think Eviolite better fits with how it works in the main series games. Or you could do the Assault Vest, or you could do just like pick 5 held items. And I think that would drastically affect PvP. If you introduce abilities into this game, you have to code the ability into each and every one of the 1008 Pokemon. I think it would break everything. And I think that Pokemon Go moves too fast as a game to be able to take all of those abilities into account. Just because a lot of the abilities in the game are so complex and so tuned to what the main series game is, I think the idea of held items is a lot more easily transferable. For example, we see held items in a game like Unite. And I think it works really well there. You have a very limited number of items that you can use, and they apply the same to any Pokemon. An ability is going to work so different, and you can have multiple abilities on a Pokemon. Like Pokemon have hidden abilities, or maybe like a Zigzagoon might have several abilities and it's just random chance. Are you going to then give us the chance to change the ability?
You could have a simplified version of abilities as well, though. Like you could only have 6 maybe possible abilities. Each Pokemon can only have one of those 6, and yeah, it would be random which ability your particular Pokemon that you've caught has. But depending on what the abilities are, I don't think it would make it too broken.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way they would do it, because that's too, like, it just doesn't mesh enough with how it works in the main series, like how it works in Pokemon, that I don't think they would do that unless they invented new abilities.
Inventing new abilities. I don't think they would do that, because they try and keep all those things consistent with the main series. So I don't think they'd invent new abilities. But I could see them like introducing a very simplified version of abilities. I guess
no way, because then you'd end up giving an ability to a Pokemon that doesn't naturally get it.
Yeah,
and that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, you're right about that. So you've mentioned Assault Vest and Eviolite as a couple of items you'd like to see. What other items do you want to see in the game?
Oh goodness. Well, depending on how complex you want to go, there's the ability shield, which protects the holder from having its ability changed by others. So if you have an ability that like messes with your opponent's ability, you can have a shield and be like, nah, absolutely not. Nah. There is, I forget which belt it is, but one of the belts keeps you from being one hit KO'd. Okay. There's an item that does that. And I think that would be very good.
I do like that. That sounds very interesting.
So you'd survive on like 1 HP. Yeah, focus band. It's focus band or focus sash. Those are the two that keep you from being knocked out completely.
Because even if you do survive on 1 HP, you've still only got one more fast move before you do KO. So like it would be great for like charge move priority ties in the end game where you don't have a shield. Because it kind of acts as a third shield there and allows you to get that charge move off, or maybe they're one counter away from fainting, and so you manage to survive that charge move to get off that last counter. I agree. It would be very interesting.
There's something called a quick claw, which it lets the holder move first occasionally. So that could make it so your Pokemon wins CMP even if it normally wouldn't.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that.
So yeah, there's like if we did, for example, like we don't really have critical hits, but there are moves that increases the chance for critical hits to happen.
So that one I'm not so sure about because the way PvP is structured at the moment, particularly in Great League, Pokemon are so glassy and moves are doing so much damage that if you then multiply it by another 1.5, I think that might be a bit too broken. But I mean, the others I love the idea of.
Yeah, so I think there's ways. There's also most items I feel like are the kind that boost the power of a certain move. Like you have the plates, like the Pixie Plate, boost the holder's fairy type moves, or the Poison Barb boosts poison type moves.
Yeah.
There's also, I think it might be more interesting to do the gems, where it boosts the power of a move one time. So like the Poison Gem will boost the power of, like, for example, one poison type charge move. You'll get a little boost on that first one you throw. And then the rest go back to normal. And then it's used up.
This is a bit off topic, but I just had this thought of like, what if they allowed weather boosts in PvP?
That, if you implement weather and specifically weather and terrain is another thing that's in the main series game, where you can have like there's not electric weather, but there's electric terrain that affects the battlefield and affects how moves work. So that could be interesting as well. Like those are all things I could see them implementing before abilities. All of these other things I think would be I think status effects, I think held items, I think weather or terrain, all would be implemented before abilities. I just think abilities would be way too complement to code and have it not ruin everything.
How interesting do you think it would make the whole team building process if you had to take into account what the weather would be on the day of your battles?
Well, I don't know if it would work that way. I think it would be like there's a special like Go Battle League Cup, like during the Electric Cup, like electric type moves are boosted.
That's a cool way of doing it.
Or during the Weather Cup, it's like randomized. Like you're going to get some kind of interesting weather.
Yeah.
Because the weather by you and the weather by me are different. How would you choose? So I think it would be more of like a novelty thing. But again, would happen before abilities, Fish. There's no way.
All right, I get it. No abilities in Pokemon Go. Fine,
they will introduce long distance trading before they do abilities.
Just give me sleep, poison, paralysis. I'll be happy.
Okay. That maybe. I could see them maybe doing something with that.
Do we have anything else to say on that? Or do you think
I think we said a lot. Yeah. I think we've exhausted that, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kevin. That was such a fun discussion, and it allowed me to use a little bit of my knowledge of the main series games. So that was really fun for me. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get into our shameless plugs. Fish, what's going on in Pallet Town?
Well, I would have loved to have promoted the FSPN, which is the factions version of ESPN, where they showcase 2 of the Emerald tier, the top tier teams battling against each other. I got the opportunity to shoutcast that. I only got the notice like 2 days ago, and I was actually done with it this morning. So unfortunately, I can't promote that. But The VOD will still be on the Silpharina Twitch channel. If you want to check that out, there are some great battles. It was a really close match in the end between Infinity Go Black and Infinity Go White. So check that out. Other than that, we've got the breakdown of the Weather Cup on the Pallet Town PvP YouTube channel, which you can check out. That is Pallet Town PvP on YouTube. And myself and Lyle Jeffs are now trying to work out a time where we can break down the Naiad Cup, which is starting in just 12 days, DeFi.
It's crazy. I'm ready. I know you're loving Ember Cup. I am not. So I'm ready to try something new.
You know what? I just had this thought. You know, if I'm doing so well in Ember, maybe I should join more tournaments to like stack out my more of my 40 rounds in this cup. Then that's a decision I have to make. Oh, do I really want to do that? Anyway, I'll make that decision later. In the meantime, we love hearing your feedback. If you have any questions or suggestions for myself or DeFi, you can direct that to pvpcorner@gocastpodcast.com. You can also send us a voicemail or physical mail to the GoCast PO box, which Chris talks about at the end of the show. And in the show description, you can click More Fish or More DeFi to take you to our other projects and ways to contact us. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much, Fish and DeFi, for yet another wonderful, really worthy of award-winning segment. We appreciate the two of you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Kyle, we're on the other side of PvP Corner. The sun is shining so brightly I can barely see. Can you point me in the right direction? Where are we headed?
It's time for emails.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and one voicemail. Oh, man, my throat. Can't do it. All right, we're going to listen to our one email first. And this one is from our good friend Swartz, Hisui and Ryan.
Hey, GoCast, it's Hisui and Ryan here. Hope you're doing well. I was just calling because I had some, random thoughts from the week. First of all, I caught a shiny Dedenne a couple hours ago, and
Ooh.
I was absolutely elated. It was one of those few moments that I won't forget for a long time in Go. Awesome. I love electric types. Electric and ghost types are my favorite two types, and Dedenne is a especially favorite Pokemon of mine. So really thrilled to have found a shiny Dedenne, and it was in my garage. So easy catch there. Just finished Go Battle Day weekend. That was a lot of fun. Got a lot of Stardust. Got one little spicy thought about that. So a couple of times there was a trainer who would just kind of quit out of the game, so their Pokemon would stop moving. This was at the beginning of the match, so I have to farm down all three of their Pokemon. And I know it hurts to lose. It hurts me too. But if you would just consider the little exit button in the top left corner on the page, you would all just hurt a little bit less. So there's my thought on that. Okay, so I've got a goal to set, and it's to have 10 of every single type of Pokemon built for PvP. And I'm only missing 3. So I'm missing Fairy, Dragon, and Ice. So I think I'm going to build a Mr. Rhyme and a Dragonair. I've got this nice Shadow Dragonair waiting. And what was the other one? Dragon, Ice, Fairy. I don't know what other fairy I want to build.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll use it that much. They're all right. They're okay. Anyways, that's my goal. Hopefully I'll hit that pretty soon. Anyways, take care. Have a great week. Bye.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Ryan. That was a great voicemail. Are there even 10 fairy types at the very least that are worthy of being PvP ready?
Yeah. I think if you went across leagues, you'd be fine.
Yeah,
you got to make 2 Togekiss in that instance.
3 Wigglytuffs. Make a 4th one just for fun.
I don't think Wigglytuff tops out enough to be used.
No, you're going to be running 2 Clefable at least, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Trunk Clefable is really strong. Wigglytuff is strong for similar reasons, but anyway, look at us talking like we know what we're talking about PvP. All right. One thing I got to say here is that middle part about people leaving and you being like, maybe it would hurt a little bit less if you just quit like a normal human being. I got to tell you, that was like the manifestation of the energy of the painting nails emoji for a hot second. I loved it. That was so good, Ryan. Thank you. But Kyle and I will never forgive you for getting the shiny today when neither of us were able to find one. Not that, Kyle wanted one, but it's just a line that's drawn in the sand, It's nothing personal.
It's rare. That's all that matters.
It's rare. Exactly. But thank you very much for the voicemail, Ryan. Appreciate it. Nice hearing from you. And so we've got 2 other emails this week here to read. I'm going to read the first one. This one's from Liz. Hi, guys. Love the podcast. I've been listening since October, and I'm working my way through your back-end episodes. But I'm also keeping up with the newer episodes, and your comments about Spain and the bonus Scarlet and Violet Part 1 episode have me face-palming almost immediately. Guys, Spanish people do not like spicy food. I have a good friend who has lived there for years, and her spicy tolerance has nosedived because she never eats it over there. They love savory food and seafood and wine. Think paella, and patatas bravas. I know that was nitpicky, so thanks for reading. Can't wait for part 2. Love the pod and hearing how much you guys have improved since 2018. Sincerely, Liz. Okay, so I saw this email. I was like, what? What are you talking about? And sure enough, I Googled. I'm like, is Spain known for spicy food? And one of the first responses, Kyle, was a lot of people believe the myth that Spanish culture is all about spicy food. I'm like, oh no.
I don't remember what we said though.
Well, we were just talking about general points of theming in part 1 because we were talking about it generally speaking, right? We were talking about how the region that it is inspired after or set in, so to speak, right, is Spain. And so we were talking about how there's like peppers and things like that because of spicy food. Apparently that's not true. So I guess consider this an official retraction, I suppose. But let me just substitute in. Is anybody surprised that we didn't know that?
I'm not surprised I didn't know that.
I'm a little surprised that maybe I just hold my understanding much higher regard than it deserves. I think that's true. I think I'm just ignorant.
I'm just extremely uncultured, and I'm aware of that.
Fair enough. Well, Liz, thank you so much for saying the record straight. And I guess in the future, before we make claims, we'll just Google them first. I thought for sure that was the case. Gosh, we both got, man. It was too funny. But thank you, Liz.
That's it. I just want to say bell peppers in particular, because talking about, oh my God, I can't remember Pokemon names right now.
Fuecoco?
They're not Fuecoco. Fuecoco is very clearly like a chili pepper or something like that. Scovillin, yeah. Definitely are not hot. That's all I'm just saying. Those bell peppers are sweet.
Pepper's not hot.
Anyways, we can move on, I think.
All right.
So our last email is from Maxotron. They said, hey, y'all. I'm writing this on the eve of the end of the Sparkling Fantasy event. I just finished grinding out the last little bit of my goals for this event, which involved around 2 million experience over the course of a couple of days, XL candy for Dratini, Dino, and Bagon, and a new PvP Meryl, Clefairy, and Noibat.
Nice.
Can I just take a minute to mention how insane the XP from an Excellent Throw was? I think if it was a first ball, excellent, mega, weather boosted catch, it was something like 4340 on a Lucky Egg.
Yeah, it's nuts.
For the 2 million experience I needed, it boiled down to 460 Excellent Throws, if that's all I did. That's really not that many Excellent Throws. Speak for yourself. And fortunately, it flowed really well with the goal to get XL candy, since I'd get more of those for excellent and mega boosted throws on the 3 dragons I was targeting.
I'm with you, Maxotron. That's not a whole lot.
Hang on. No, well, I'm not going to let that fly. First off, that is a decent amount of Excellent Throws. Also, considering all of them are on a Lucky Egg. So, like, if you had a week to do 460 Excellent Throws, not that bad. But to do 460 in a week, all on a Lucky Egg, that means your play is very targeted.
But you're not playing the entire week. In that, you just need to have 3 or 4 really like hardcore 30-minute catching sessions. And that's just 4 Lucky Eggs.
I stand by the fact that 460 Excellent Throws in a week is a healthy amount.
I'm not going to say what I want to say, but what I am going to say is that about an hour in, I did to this community classic, I did message Kyle and said, hey man, how are those Excellent throws coming? He's like, they're not.
Now, so in my defense here,
Okay.
after you said that, I'm like, all right, now I actually have to try and get excellent throws.
Mhm.
And it was much better.
Did you hit the groove?
No, I mean, it wasn't a groove, but I'd say like 30% excellent throws, 50% great throws because I misjudged how small the circle was.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5% nice throws for messing up, and the rest were blanks because I missed.
I think if you're hitting like on a community day, right? Consistently the same Pokemon or Spotlight Hour or whatever. If you're hitting 25 to 30% of the time an excellent throw, I feel like you're in the pocket, you know? That's still pretty good because some of these Pokemon are impossibly small. So like, let's just make it an average.
I was just annoyed because I couldn't really tell the difference in the ring from excellent and great.
There needs to be a color difference or something.
I was going to say the exact same thing. It'd be awesome if we could have an indicator to show as the ring gets smaller. All right, we're going to move on. There's more to this email, though.
Okay.
Back to Maxtron. I know I'm one of many glowing reviews of this event, but I thought it was really good. The spawns were fantastic. The XL candy and the XP bonuses were excellent. The legendary and mega raids were pretty popular the whole week. And I think my only dislike was the conflict of interest with Go Battle Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I did about 125 battles out of 200 available, but it pained me to be cutting into valuable farming candy and XP time to do that. Aside from that, it was a blast. Once I can get the dust, I'll finish maxing my Hydreigon to 50, Salamence to 50, and remake a PvP Azumarill, Clefable, Wigglytuff, and a couple others I got better IVs for. That's a lot of dust waiting on.
Our man Nexatron's sitting on 5 million Stardust, burning a hole in his pocket or something.
No,
wow.
He needs the dust. He has nothing, I'm assuming.
Oh, once I can get the dust, I'll finish maxing. Okay, yeah.
That means he's got all the candy waiting and stuff. Oh man,
that's a steep mountain of dust to climb. Yeah,
that's like 2 million dust right there.
It's more than that, I think.
The
50s are really expensive.
500k each for each 50, and then the PvP Azumarill, if it's actually PvP, is another like 200,000.
No, the PvP Azumarill will probably be an XL if he's remaking it.
Yeah, it's a lot of candy.
I guess it depends. We would need more information.
So it's a lot of Stardust.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
On a side and final note, my autocorrect usually tries to correct Salamence to Salamanca with a hard case out on that C. Yes, I'm sorry.
You nailed it.
I did pronounce that right the first time. Thank you.
You nailed it. Oh, points for Kyle.
I'm uncultured. I'm not that uncultured. I can't help but think of the Bond villain from Man with the Golden Gun, even though he's I don't actually know this. Scaramanga, and not a city in Spain. I've seen Man with the Golden Gun once, so I can't comment, unfortunately.
I don't think I've seen any Bond movie.
Not even the new ones?
No.
You'd probably like the new ones. They're good. They're just good movies.
I've been told I need to watch Casino Royale. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely the best of the three. But
okay,
we're gonna move on.
Okay, sorry.
Last thing I thought of now that we have Mega Salamence out and we can see a side by side with Roaring Moon, I have this theory about how Paldea would have warred with Kalos. They both have Megas and Paradox forms that kind of mirror each other. They both have some alternative form of Gardevoir, Gallade, Tyranitar, and Salamence, and it makes me wonder if where Kalos' weapon was Mega Energy, Paldea's weapon was time travel in the Paradox form sense. Obviously, time travel in the sense we're used to would be busted powerful in warfare, but bringing back these Paradox forms seems more balanced for gameplay's sake.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a few thoughts and an unapologetically long email. Hope you all meet your goals for this event, and shiny vibes all. Maxatron.
That is a really good takeaway about the whole Kalos Paldea thing. There's a lot of people that are talking about how Kalos is like directly involved with Paldea lore.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Kalos is based off of France, so it's right next to Paldea. Technically, if we're going by real world map,
our real world map, yeah.
I
hate to tell you, well, they are based on regions. They're not based on a real world map.
Hey, someone tell Greg it's super effective that.
But Kanto and Johto are connected by a train.
Yes, they are both Japan.
That's right. Japan and Also Japan.
Okay.
Even more Japan.
Also, just one more time, Roaring Moon is just Mega Salamence, but better. That's kind of all.
Oh my gosh. And like design wise too, just it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. But anyway, thank you very much for the email, Maxotron. Thank you very much for the email as well, Liz, and for setting those straight. By the way, and if anybody ever catches us like Liz did and was like, look, that's actually not right, please email us. We don't do it on purpose. Most of the time, we legitimately just make a mistake, and I would love to hear more of that if that's the case. So anyway, if you'd like to send us an email just like these fine folks did, you can by sending it to mail@gocastpodcast.com. If you'd like to send us a voicemail like Ryan did this week, you can call 262-586-7717 and leave it there. You can visit our website for all things GoCast Podcast at gocastpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at GoCast Podcast. You can also help support the show via Patreon. That's patreon.com/GoCast Podcast. And quick shout out, speaking of patrons, to our Elite Trainer tier patrons. Thank you so very much to Bo, Daniel, Andrew, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Ted, Tish, Marvin and Mimi, Swartz, Sue and Ryan, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Modders, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Stephen, Nick, and Kelvin. Thank you very much for helping us keep the digital lights on. We appreciate you greatly. And if monetary support is not in the cards for you, you've already done it, or you're just not interested in that for some reason, you can also help the show out immensely and for free by leaving us a review wherever reviews are accepted. And of course, reviews are just great in general. I just like hearing what people have to say. So please, that'd be great. And I think that's it. Oh, we got to set some goals, Kyle. That's the last thing here.
Yep.
You want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
Got to make more buddy progress. I don't have a solid number. We're just going to go with that for right now.
All right.
When I get closer to best buddy, we'll get there. And then these are a couple of fun ones because there's some special research that I've had just sitting there for a while that I should probably complete now.
Okay.
I have the level 45 challenge that you got for hitting level 45. Just to remind everybody, I am level 46 now. The step one is battle and go battle league 45 times.
Oh no.
And I haven't done a single battle since I got that challenge.
I think it's time.
Yeah. And then on the same note, the something extraordinary one that we just got not that long ago also had a step for battle and go battle league that I haven't done yet. So
that's why you waited. You were just waiting for the efficiency.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Mentally, emotionally, and otherwise. Okay. Mine are to hatch 50 eggs, walk 30 kilometers. Not going to run for the 50 this week because I'm still a little under the weather and I don't want to push it. And then encounter a Galarian bird. I've started doing my Adventure Sync my Adventure Incense, not Adventure Sync, Adventure Incense, the daily one when I go out on my walks. And I've had a Galarian bird encounter on average 1 per walk.
I actually don't know if that's incredible or not. I don't have enough sample sizes.
I have a theory that it's been boosted because I saw 2 in one of my walks. I've been seeing people make posts of 4 or 5 in a walk. So I think they boosted the rates a little bit. I still think they're impossible to catch, basically, but I think they do show up more often or something like that. So whatever it was, I'm going to try to lean into it. Hopefully it's not a mistake. But that's it. Thank you so much for listening all the way through, dear listener. And we will see you next week for episode 223. Oh, part 2 of this, the Scarlet and Violet coverage is out. The spoiler one. Go listen to it. All right. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.